y'all. Welcome to your forecast for the week of Sunday, March 30th through Saturday, April 5th. And welcome to Neptune and Aries. This is a big deal. And this is really the most kind of splashy transit of the week is Neptune entering Aries and kicking off the first chapter of this Neptune and Aries story. I'll talk about that in a moment, but before I get into it, I just want to remind you all that I offer these forecasts for free in the hopes that they support people. But if you're interested in participating more with my work or supporting my podcast and my YouTube channel, you can become a patron, and you can also tip me or make one-time donations via the links down in my bio. Okay, let's get into it. So we're coming off of an eclipse right now. And our eclipse was on Saturday, wee hours of the morning. It was a solar eclipse in Aries, and I talked about that a little bit last week. I also published a 40-minute audio reading for the solar eclipse in Aries on my Patreon, which you can access actually for free if you sign up for a week-long trial. I'll drop the link down below for that as well. But we are experiencing an eclipse come down. We're now out of the 2-week eclipse window, but we're still very much in the after effect, and at least for the next couple weeks we'll really be experiencing the sort of payoff from that eclipse. But eclipses also stretch out and account for 6 months at a time, and so the energies and the themes and the stuff that came up for you with the solar eclipse in Aries will likely be relevant for the next 6 months, give or take, until we reach our next eclipse season. So note what's going on for you, especially in your cardinal houses, Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, because those themes and those stories and those lessons are very likely to echo for the next 6 months. Now, on Sunday, March 30th, Neptune enters Aries. And as I mentioned, this is the start of a big new era. Neptune will retrograde back into Pisces. So it's really only in Aries from today, Sunday, March 30th, through October 22nd. On October 22nd, it will return to Pisces for the last time. And then next year, on January 26th, 2026, it will re-enter Aries for good, and begin really this big 13-year chapter of Neptune and Aries. And so again, cardinal signs are really in focus here: Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn. And those parts of our chart and those placements that we have are going to be experiencing a lot of change, some degree of dissolution, but it's very slow. Neptune, by many astrologers, is seen as a malefic, which means that it can bring difficult experiences. It can bring us into a sense of existential crisis at times. It can change our relationship to spirituality, to our identities. Sometimes it has a sort of ego death impact on us when we're experiencing Neptune transits. And it also teaches us lessons of impermanence, non-attachment, and transcendence. And so wherever Neptune is in your chart, that is where you are learning and practicing those lessons. And it'll very gradually, right, because this is an outer planet, those lessons will gradually become clearer and clearer, but not for a long time. And I hesitate to even use the word clear because Neptune is inherently foggy and unclear and confusing, and can create confusing experiences, confusing emotions, where we can't quite see things clearly. And there's often illusion and projection and all sorts of things that cause us to loosen our grip and loosen our grip, I can't think of another word besides grip, loosen our grip and essentially learn to surrender. So pay attention to where 0 degrees Aries falls in your natal chart, because that is the place where we are currently experiencing Neptunian energy surging in. Later on Sunday, the moon enters Taurus, moving from Aries into Taurus. And this brings us into creature comfort desires. The moon is technically exalted in Taurus. It's where it feels cozy and comfortable and really wants its material needs met, its sensual needs met. We might feel the desire to move more slowly, to eat good foods, to feel comforted, to feel safe. So if you can give that to yourself over the next few days, you will notice the impact, especially as we have this charged eclipse energy and double retrograde still impacting us. On Tuesday, April 1st, Venus forms a conjunction to the North Node in Pisces. This is bringing back themes that were up for us around February 1st when Venus last met the North Node in Pisces, as well as Neptune. And Neptune is still very, very close by, just 3 degrees away, now newly entered Aries, but it was in Pisces when Venus and the North Node last met, and that conjunction was really tight. It was Venus, the Moon, the North Node, and Neptune all mashed up around 27, 28 degrees of Pisces. I wrote a pretty big article about that transit back when it occurred, and I will link that below too, because it might be rich and interesting for you to explore again and kind of return to some of those themes. This transit, again, is evoking some need for growth and change, especially in Venusian areas of our life. So that means connection. That means our relationship to beauty and pleasure and the arts, our relationship to our values and what we care about and what we prioritize. And so you may be noticing growth spurts occurring in those areas, or a call to move toward a new way of relating and being. In my Venus retrograde guide, also linked below, I wrote of this transit: Venus forms a conjunction with the North Node in Pisces, beckoning us toward authentic, soul-quenching spiritual connection. It could feel like both a shedding and an opening, possibly uncomfortable, probably necessary. And the question here is, what kind of connection is your spirit craving? And so this might be a time when we encounter people who are really important to us and to our soul growth. It might be a time when connections are really nudging us to grow and to come into greater spiritual awareness. Pisces is a sign known for its compassion, its artistry, its spiritual connection, its sensitivity, and also its propensity, which is a word I feel like I can keep using, toward surrender and release as the last sign of the zodiac. And so there's great wisdom in Pisces, and the wisdom that you experience budding within yourself around this time is really important, so pay attention. Later that day, on Tuesday, April 1st, the moon enters Gemini, and we might be feeling chattier. We might be feeling like we want connection. We want kind of like flippy floppy, fast, intellectually stimulating energy, and that's really feeling good for our spirit to kind of like ramp up the energy a bit. And that could be in like chats and conversations, especially with Venus conjunct the North Node. Like we might be craving that growth and that stimulation through relationships and through art and through music and all of that. On Thursday, April 3rd, the moon enters Cancer. And we are shifting. Our emotional energy is getting a little bit more inward again. So we were kind of outward and now we're going inward again. And we're craving comfort. We're craving emotional safety and probably a bit of softness and tenderness. Cancer can be kind of sleepy, moon in Cancer especially. And so we might need a good nap. We might feel like we're kind of like coming down off of a couple days that felt a bit more activating or at least energetic. On Friday, April 4th, we have a mashup of 4 kind of big moments. Saturn forms a sextile to Uranus. Mars forms a sextile to Uranus. And then Mars and Saturn form a trine to one another. And so starting with the Saturn in Pisces sextile Uranus and Taurus, this is a conversation between outer planets. Saturn in conversation with Uranus is bringing us into this need to kind of alter structures or to innovate on something that has felt more established. Mars sextile Uranus is giving us this burst of energy to pursue something that maybe feels like it's bringing us out of our comfort zone a bit, but is ultimately helping us to grow. And so this could be a really good day to move forward on a plan, to take action towards something, or to do something a little bit out of the norm. Also a good day to get your body active. We could have some anxiety or some like just high energy, like frenetic energy coming up. And so it's a really good day to move it out of your body, to dance, to let it like blow off through movement and stimulating practice. Mars forming a trine to Saturn is reinforcing. And so whatever steps we're taking on this day, they're likely to be supported. We're likely to have some wind behind or beneath our sails that pushes us forward, and to make choices that are both a little bit risky, but also grounded. And so there's this like move toward honoring ourselves and making choices that feel inspired and embodied and true, and doing them both responsibly, but also, again, maybe putting ourselves out there a little bit and taking a bit of a risk. It's like kind of a calculated risk day. Later that day, we experience our first quarter moon in Cancer, and so the sun and the moon are forming a square, and this could feel like some tension, maybe some productive tension. The sun is in Aries and the moon is in Cancer, and so we might feel kind of tired, like our Aries sun is like, go, 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 and then our moon in Cancer is like, but I want to take a nap, I need to like rest and recalibrate after what's come up. I need to integrate and digest. And so see if there's a way that you can kind of reconcile those needs and maybe honor both pieces of yourself and ultimately listen to your spirit and your body. On Saturday, April 5th, the moon enters Leo, and we are getting more playful. We're getting more expressive and big and buoyant. And so this is a good day to bring fun in. If you have some stuff that you need to like process and you're getting all serious about it, or if you have drama brewing or stuff coming up, try to play it out. Try to take it less seriously. Try to laugh about it. Try to have fun with it. Leo is a sign that loves fun, loves play, loves laughter, and actually heals a great deal through levity. So if you can find levity in this moment, it'll really serve you. And this could be a great day to like do something that makes you laugh or hang out with people who are super fun for you. Okay, let's get into our tarot reading for the week. So for the week of March 30th through April 5th, our anchor card from the Rosebud Tarot. I love this new deck that a friend gifted me. This is Diana Rose, if you're familiar, wonderful astrologer. Our anchor card is the Life Giver. And so this is the Empress, but it's called the Life Giver in this deck, which I love. And we see what looks like a mother holding a child, and there are butterflies in this gorgeous, abundant scene. There's a real focus on caring for ourselves and the people we love this week. I feel this sort of gushing energy and gushing passion, especially with the moon moving through the signs it's moving through this week. There's a real inclination toward embodying our wholeness and our confidence, and also buoying the people around us, buoying our communities, buoying our connections, and giving birth to something. Maybe that's literal for some of you. Congratulations if so. But for most of us, it's going to be like birthing a creative project or doing something that feels really sensual and delicious to us. So that's an energy to come back to all week, is sensuality, is pleasure, is doing stuff that feels like it really wakens our senses and helps us to feel embodied and alive. This also reminds me of that Venus conjunct North Node day that we have on April 1st. Venus is associated with the Empress, and so maybe we're really learning about what turns us on and what makes us feel good this week, and we're practicing it. Yummy! Our challenge this week is Velocity of Earth, aka the Knight of Pentacles. So this night they're like on a bull, and the bull has flowers on their head, and they're like jumping over some type of pot, and there are all these cows in the background and this like wild scene in the sky. It looks like all these shooting stars, and there's actually quite a bit of action here, right? This person is riding a bull, which is a big deal. Reminds me of Taurus, and often this is a card that's associated with Taurus, fixed earth, the bull. And so there's something, again, like this is bringing me into those Saturn, Uranus, Mars aspects that we have on Friday. There's something we're pushing forward. We're feeling grounded and we're feeling motivated. And so if you find motivation, lean into it. Yes, this is coming up as our challenge though, and so that might be hard to come by at times because of fluctuating energy levels. We might feel a little bit like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to like follow through on those responsibilities that I committed to. I don't want to commit, period. Like commitment, questions of commitment and follow through could be a tension point for us this week. Finally, our gift is the Mage, aka the Magician. And this is a Mercury card. We have this sort of like holy looking figure that has this big eye on this turban that they're wearing, and they're in this really gorgeous castle-like kind of space. We see flowers, we see plants, and it's very rich and abundant. And this person feels quite calm and steady. They're looking forward. They're like eyes on us, and then they have that eye on their forehead. And there's a real energy here of like knowing things. This could be a week where we feel more tapped in, where we feel like our psychic senses are coming alive in a big way, or where we're simply more attuned to the energy around us and really feeling quite confident in our abilities. And so the gift here is that we are coming into our power. That feels really potent this week. There is a power up that's happening. The magician knows how to use their tools. The magician is someone who can augment or manipulate reality, and someone who really uses their words. And so the gift this week could be through words, through language. It could be through our minds, Mercury. It could be through spiritual practice or spiritual study. And so again, just focus on what's available to you and use your tools well. Work your strengths this week, work them, focus on them. Don't focus on your weaknesses. Like, pour your energy into what you are badass at and keep doing it. This week, focus will be your friend. So the more you focus on what you want, the more likely you are to get it. That's all I have. I hope that is helpful. I'm wishing you all a sweet and exciting week. And as always, if you got something from this, please do like, comment, subscribe, share, and become a patron if you want to support. Have a good one.